Get ready, Commanders fans. We have hot, explosive news that will leave you anxious. Imagine this: a clash of titans for the NFC East leadership, where our Washington Commanders faces the Philadelphia Eagles, a team currently riding an impressive 5-game winning streak. And don't think Washington will be intimidated. Under Dan Quinn's leadership, a coach known for his energy and determination, the Commanders are more focused than ever. It will be one of those games where you hold your breath on every play, with everything at stake. And if you want to see how the Commanders can turn this score around and maybe even win the division, stay with us until the end. And of course, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. Now, if we're talking about rivalry, we can't help but mention this clash between Dan Quinn and Nick Sirianni. Quinn, our first-time commander here in Washington, has already shown tremendous confidence. The week had barely started, and he was already motivated, speaking proudly about what this game means for the team and fans. He knows this is the kind of game that forges a winning team. On the other hand, Sirianni, the Eagles coach, made it clear he doesn't like the short turnaround to prepare the team for a Thursday night game. This kind of detail can indeed give a strategic advantage to the Commanders, who are preparing with everything they've got. If you're like me, you must be eager to see how this game unfolds. Here's an interesting fact. While the Eagles are coming off a crushing victory over Dallas, scoring 27 unanswered points, our Commanders fought hard but let victory slip away against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a game of ups and downs, and we barely missed holding on to the lead at the end. This game against the Steelers served as a lesson, and I'm sure Quinn and the players are using this defeat as fuel to come even more prepared against the Eagles. A team that learns from its mistakes is a team that grows, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the Commanders. Looking at the Eagles' defense performance, we have quite a challenge ahead. This group has allowed less than 280 yards in 5 consecutive games, quite a feat. They're second in the NFL in yards allowed per game, and it's no wonder. With names like linebacker Nakobe Dean, who stated that the defense hasn't reached its full potential yet, you can feel the rivals' seriousness. But what do you think? Does the Commanders' offense have what it takes to break through this solid Eagles defense? Speaking of our offense, there's something no one can ignore: Jayden Daniels. This kid, our second overall draft pick, is delivering an impressive performance. With a pass completion rate of almost 69% and a combination of passing and rushing touchdowns, he's surprising everyone each game. He has 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions, plus mobility that has already earned him over 400 rushing yards. Against a defense like the Eagles, Daniels' performance could be the key to unbalancing the game. What do you think, fans? Will Daniels shine in this battle too? Now, attention to an important point. Our offense is flying high, ranking 4th in the league in yards per game and tied for 3rd in points. That's no small feat. With an average of almost 30 points per game, our team has shown an offense that knows how to pressure the opponent. But we need to maintain concentration until the final whistle, and that became clear in the game against the Steelers. That last-second loss was a tough blow, but what right tackle Sam Cosmi said after the game filled me with hope. He spoke to everyone in the locker room, reinforcing that the team needs to keep their heads up and stay strong because he believes the group has something special. So, will this mental strength make a difference in this game? And of course, injuries are also a factor that could change the course of this game. On the Eagles, key players like cornerback Darius Slay and tight end Dallas Goedert are battling ankle injuries. The same goes for Dean and receiver Devonta Smith. This could open a gap for our offense to take advantage. On the other hand, the Commanders aren't in their best physical shape either. Our newly arrived cornerback, Marshon Latimore, and running back Brian Robinson Jr. are dealing with physical issues, and this could weigh heavily. Will these absences influence the outcome? The battle is tough, and both teams have much to gain or lose with each absence. Get comfortable, because now we have a topic that's keeping us all intrigued: Marshon Latimore. The cornerback, recently arrived from the Saints, who excited us so much, hasn't yet debuted in our jersey. After the last defeat, where our defense was disappointing, Latimore's absence weighs even more. And just when we thought he would finally take the field, another pause emerges. Not easy for those who want to see our team back on top. Let's break down everything that's happening, and I'll need your participation in the comments to understand what you expect from Latimore. But I warn you, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, it's time to join this community of fans. Look, this Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles was one of the dates we were hoping to see Latimore in action. With the Commanders entering this final phase of the season and facing such strong rivals, the timing seemed perfect. Everyone knew he was dealing with an injury, but optimism still lingered in the air. We, as fans, wanted to see if he could give that extra boost to our defense. Now, knowing he'll be out again is a cold shower, especially after the last game, where our defense left much to be desired. There's a lot to reflect on, but one thing is certain. We're hoping for his quick recovery. That's the dilemma, right? Our defense had flaws that became even more evident after the last game. Russell Wilson, who's had a somewhat irregular season, managed solid numbers against our defense. The final score could have been very different if we had a corner like Latimore in play. After all, when you add a player of his caliber, you expect him to be the difference maker in these decisive moments. Latimore's absence on the field is felt by both fans and the rest of the team. Will he be able to recover in time to contribute? This suspense only makes us yearn more for his return. Coach Dan Quinn doesn't give us many details about the situation either. We know he's cautious with statements, and this week he only confirmed that Latimore won't be on the field. According to Quinn, it's still a matter of speed and adaptation on Latimore's part. He praises the player's intelligence, but reminds us that to function in our system, Latimore needs to be 100% ready. It's frustrating because it gives that feeling that we're almost there, but not quite. Do you feel that too? It seems like expectations only grow, and we're still tied up without a real prediction of when he'll be playing. However, we know this recovery process is rigid. The Commander's medical staff works to ensure each player only returns when they have total security. It was like this with quarterback Jaden Daniels, who spent several weeks away after a rib injury. Of course, this care is essential, especially for a player who must act in a position that requires agility and quick reaction, but it leaves us waiting for even longer. With the season in its final stretch, time is not on our side. If Latimore's recovery were quicker, we'd be much more confident for the upcoming games. And there's the question. Are we seeing a bad investment? Anxiety was high when we announced Latimore, and many fans, including myself, were confident he would make a difference in defense. After all, he was a star with the Saints and arrived here as a heavyweight reinforcement. But now, after another defeat and another absence from him on the field, doubt begins to arise. Did we make the right choice? For me, it's hard to think we're living off unfulfilled promises, especially at a time when the season is promising. With the Eagles coming, our defense needs a turnaround. In a season where we're finally seeing the Commanders fight for a playoff spot, it would be sad to see one of our main reinforcements out. The current campaign is an encouraging contrast to the last one, where we finished with a 4-13 record. If we continue like this, we could secure a solid position, but for that, we need our players on the field, especially someone like Latimore, who has the potential to turn the game around. But all this uncertainty ends up working against us. Are you confident he'll make a difference, or are you already losing hope? Another factor that keeps fans in expectation is the lack of concrete updates. Week after week, the medical team and Latimore himself don't reveal many details about his condition. It's understandable that there are protocols to be followed, but for us fans, this lack of information only generates more frustration. A clearer timeline would help keep the fans calm, who are already tired of waiting. In fact, NFL journalist Adam Schefter made sure to stir up this unrest by announcing that Latimore won't play on Thursday. Will he debut for us at some point? Remember when Latimore gave his first interview as a Commander? He was excited and even stated, "I'm ready for what the future holds for me." But now, seeing him out of training, with the season coming to an end, it's impossible not to question whether he'll recover in time. Our defense needs him, and fast. What we saw in the last game with Benjamin Saint-Just getting burned on crucial plays only reaffirms that we need the leadership and experience that Latimore can bring. He's aware of the responsibility and pressure, but time to show this is running out. And now, my friends, I'll leave the question hanging. Will Marshon Latimore still be the savior that the Commanders' defense so desperately needs, or will we have to look for new options for next season? This uncertainty is certainly in every fan's heart. If you think Latimore will manage to establish himself, or if you believe our defense is past the point of redemption, comment below and let's discuss. This is one of the biggest questions of the season, and I want to know your opinion.